His mother was taken by the Comanches when she was 9 years old. She forgot her English. She married their chief. She refused every chance to leave. Then, the Texas Rangers took her back by force.
Her son never saw her again. He was 15.
30 years later, that son, raised Comanche, wanted by the U.S. Army, the last free chief of his people, walked into Fort Sill, laid down his weapons, and became the most powerful Native American in the United States. His name was Quanah Parker. Quanah grew up knowing two things about himself. His father was Comanche. His mother was white. After Pease River, the other warriors learned the truth about his mother. Some began throwing around a new word, half-breed. So, the band split. He didn't ask to be caught between two worlds. He chose one. He rode with the Kiowa-Comanche, the most uncompromising band on the plains. Quanah became their war leader. By the early 1870s, the buffalo hunters had arrived. The Comanche world ran on buffalo. Food, shelter, tools, ceremony, everything. The hunters were taking 3 million hides a year off the southern plains, not to eat, for leather. Quanah watched the herds collapse. Without the buffalo, there was no Comanche life. The reservation wasn't a threat anymore. It was an extinction schedule. He decided to fight. June 27, 1874. Quanah led 700 warriors against a buffalo hunters camp called Adobe Walls in the Texas Panhandle. 28 men inside, 1 woman. The attack should have ended in minutes. It didn't. A ridgepole had cracked in the saloon the night before. The noise woke the hunters at 4 a.m. They were already up, already armed, when the charge came at dawn. Every time the warriors charged the walls, long-range Sharps buffalo rifles reached them before they could reach the doors. Quanah was wounded badly enough to pull him from the fight. The assault collapsed. 15 warriors dead. The hunters, 3. The defeat triggered the Red River War. The retaliation was absolute. The U.S. Army choked off the plains from 5 different directions, burning Comanche villages and slaughtering their horses. 1,400 shot at Palo Duro Canyon alone. Everything that made life on the plains possible, destroyed. By June 1875, the Quahati had nothing left. Quanah Parker rode into Fort Sill and surrendered. He was the last Comanche chief to do so. Here is where most stories about defeated chiefs end. Quanah did something different. He looked at the reservation the exact same way he looked at a battlefield, as a terrain he needed to master to survive. He took his mother's last name, Quanah Parker. The name itself was a message to both worlds. I know who I am. I contain both. The U.S. government needed a single voice they could negotiate with. They named him Principal Chief, a title that had never existed in Comanche tradition. He took it and used it like a weapon. He leased reservation land to Texas cattle ranchers and funneled the money to his people. He pushed for Comanche children to get formal education. He fought Washington every time it moved to break up tribal land. He maintained the peyote ceremony the government tried to ban, and turned it into the legally protected Native American church, which spread across dozens of tribes and has over 250,000 members today. He kept 7 wives. The U.S. government demanded he choose just one. He told them no. In 1905, Theodore Roosevelt invited him to march in his presidential inauguration parade, in full Comanche regalia, alongside Geronimo. Then Roosevelt came to the Star House, Quanah's 10-room home in Cache, Oklahoma, and had dinner with the man who had fought the U.S. Army at Adobe Walls 30 years earlier. Quanah Parker died in 1911, buried in full Comanche regalia, and reportedly with a large sum of money. Because he lived in 2 worlds, and he intended to arrive in the next one, prepared for both, he was laid to rest beside his mother. They hadn't been in the same place since he was 15. The Comanche Nation still exists, still sovereign, still in Oklahoma. Quanah Parker is a significant reason more of it survived than anyone thought possible.